and welcome to Stratele Studios. I'm Jeff Castanon. Welcome to another No Pause video reaction and analysis. Thank you so much, Brian, for this request. This is a new one for me, I think. Edmund Rubbra, and this is an excerpt from Symphony No. 6, Opus 80. I will put the full title down there somewhere, and let's get into this. Boy, let's see what this is all about. Let's hit that play button. Here we go. What a beautiful piece of music. As I was listening to this, I was thinking to myself what it must be like to compose symphonies for an orchestra, have the facility to be able to do that, to have an understanding. There's so much involved. I mean, some of the things that you need to know are some trivial things like the ranges of the instruments and, you know, things like that. But to have the imagination and understanding to be able to write parts for that section, to be able to write for cello and for flute, and you don't play all the instruments in the orchestra, you know? It's a lot to understand. It's a lot to be able to do. And I think about as an instrumentalist on maybe you play a guitar or you play a few instruments that you kind of have a good understanding of the nature of that instrument. And you can write for that instrument. And it really is amazing when I listen to something like this. And I think about Mr. Edmund Rubbra composing something as beautiful as this. And for him to be sitting down and hearing this in his head and writing this out and saying, okay, the cellos do this, the violins do this, the flute does this, the horns do this, and having such a deep understanding of the instruments to be able to give it to these musicians and say, here's your part. And then they look at it and go, okay, well, that is in step with what I know how to do. That amazes me. And I think about like some of the experiences that I've had doing musicals. And I would say that probably a large majority of people who write music for musicals probably play piano. I say that because there are musicals that I've done where the guitar parts are just so like not guitar parts. They are just like, this is obviously written by a keyboard player. And I could recognize that when I see them, you know. It's funny because it's kind of like I look at it and I'm like, yeah, that's not really for guitar. And you still got to do it or whatever. Then there are musicals that I've done where you get the music and you're like, holy smokes, this guy knows how to write for guitar. And all of the subtle things about the instrument are there. And some of the requests that are made in the music for the guitar player makes sense. And I so love musicals like that. And one comes to mind when I did the musical Bring It On. That one definitely had guitar music that was written by somebody who knew the guitar really well. Same thing for the musical 13 that I did, because those parts really took advantage of the nature of the instrument. So this really astounds me as I'm listening to this. I'm listening to, you know, those deep strings that are doing what those strings do best, and then hearing passages where the flutes are doing their thing in the way that they do it. It's like, oh, it's just taking advantage of the strengths of all the instruments. So kudos. Very, very cool. Brian, thank you so much. Also, thank you for expediting this piece so I get to hear it sooner than later. And if any of you are wanting to make a request on this day, which is October 11th, I basically have my first opening on November 26th. So if you're looking to make a request, you might want to consider expediting the request to get it sooner. So I just wanted to give you fair warning about that. Yes. So a lot of really amazing music coming up So keep your eye on the channel. I have some of the best, I have to say, I have some of the best viewers on YouTube, because you guys, you music lovers, you have found my channel, and so many of you are so sophisticated in your taste in music, and a lot of you are musicians, and a lot of you have a deep understanding of music, and a lot of you aren't even musicians, but really are intense lovers of music, and you give me these gems that I just am so happy to get. So I appreciate all of you. And also, on top of that, the last thing I want to say is how incredibly positive that the majority of my viewers are, and the comments that you leave are positive. And I just so appreciate that about you guys. And if you are trolling my channel, or if you have a comment that is just not tasteful, then you will see how fast you get blocked on my channel. If you don't believe me, just try it. Just try it. I have a zero troll policy on the channel, and I can kind of tell where somebody's head's at when they leave a comment. And you go somewhere else to make those comments, not my channel. My channel is a safe haven for all positive music lovers, and it's going to stay that way. So anyway, come back for more cool stuff. We will see you next time.